So the final topic, we're going to go over on time a little bit, but the final topic is pretty important. There is a Eververse Trading Company was announced, and at this place, you're going to be able to spend real money to get emotes. That's all they're doing right now. It's going to be available Tuesday, October 13th, and Tess Everest will return to the tower. They pretty much took her out of the tower. They just removed her character to build her for the Eververse Trading Company, and it's a place where right now you can buy emotes. There was a Kotaku article that also...
No shader confirmation yet?
No shader.
I mean, eventually.
It's only emotes right now. Kotaku said that according to a source that they have, that this is how they're going to fund year 2 missions, but Bungie has never said that, so we have an unknown source that Kotaku...
who says it's how they're going to fund year 2 missions?
Yeah, year 2
like
free missions.
Doesn't have enough
free
money
missions.
to build the game, and they need to like go.
And everybody keeps sourcing this thing and sending it to me. It's like, oh, it's how they're going to do missions. I want to support Bungie. I'm like, that's a Kotaku source. That's not Bungie saying that.
BS alert. BS alert.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't believe that. Like, they have a very specific plan. Sure, they could build more.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's not a possibility.
Yeah.
But they're not short on change.
No, they're not.
I've always said, though, like, I don't know how much it costs to have these hundreds of QA testers, the hundreds of team members. It's an expensive game, tons of servers. Nonetheless, I have a hard time believing that you need to do a Kickstarter version of like Eververse to like fund some missions. Like, they have roadmaps and milestones to build all this out. So
Definitely.
I don't think that sounds right to me. What I will say is, my point is,
you didn't say was money.
Yeah,
but,
I don't think they need that money. But yes, like, let's talk about Destiny 2. I do believe something like this, like, yeah, that's going to go into the production of that.
Yeah, I think this Eververse Trading Company is like them getting ready for Destiny 2. They're gonna, and so here's their quote here. Initially, Tess will offer 18 brand new emotes, like the trio of emotes offered via the Taken King Collector's Edition. These emotes are completely optional and won't impact the action game in any way. To acquire these items, you'll first need to pick up some silver, a new in-game currency that will be available for purchase through the store associated with your console. Yep.
Real money.
Oh, it's going to affect my dancing action. I know that. So I
can't get down with him.
So wait. All right, what do you guys think? I'm all about it. I understand the slippery slope and the naysayers that are going to jump to that. I'm sure you did, Destiny.
I exploded.
Because
I
hate
hate
this is going to ruin the game. Like,
it's not the emotes.
I bet.
Okay, so it's not the emotes that I have a problem with. It's the fact that they're implementing this, and either Bungie or Activision are going to lose control of this product. The people with the money hats are going to put their money hats on and be like, oh,
no money
what
hat.
else? What else can we sell? You know, shaders. Yeah, let's get shaders in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, special ammo synth. That's not going to break the game. Let's start selling that for real money.
That's you're right. That is getting
That's
into that
where
territory.
it's slippery slope.
So why do we immediately go to like, well, when they get to the things that will ruin the game, like why go there?
Oh, because I don't trust Activision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because they do have a history of like lots
of shutting down companies because they have a
DLC
disagreement.
And, no, okay.
No, well, let's dial it back a little bit. I think I think honestly,
you have a lot of issues that are. It's not
They've
about the
done
dancing.
some really bad stuff.
Okay,
you want to know
sorry,
why I have issues?
Right. So obviously, hardcore gamers like us at this table, do not like the idea of microtransactions because we fear how they will disrupt an economy and how they change the game that we play and that we really like.
And let me say something on that. I don't care about emotes. I know emotes aren't going to break the game. It's the thought that
where it could go.
Where it could go.
I don't want to sit here and sort of speculate on how much it costs to run Destiny or where this pressure is coming from to put these microtransactions in the game. The reality is they're here. And they are emotes, which to me does not signal cause for alarm yet. But I will say that I agree. First of all, I'm for this. I'm like, look, if someone wants to spend money on an additional emote or even on shaders or on the nameplates, go right ahead. Like that is your option as a consumer. You bought this product, you want to buy it, and you think the money's going towards wherever it's going because no one said what it's going towards.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's not carefully labeled. What I will say, though, is that it just does not ever need to broach or affect the game as a whole. For example, I was doing some research on this because I was like, okay, you were really steamed on, when did this happen? Monday, I think the announcement happened? Monday or Tuesday?
I just said, all I said, I got a lot of flack for this on Twitter, was that like,
give you flack.
I don't trust Bungie or Activision to keep it
so
balanced. It worries me.
I started looking online and going, okay, well, Call of Duty is a major franchise. Let's look at how the microtransaction game has evolved. And I think it was in 2011 or around that time, after 2011, microtransactions were introduced in the form of cosmetic items only. So with Black Ops 2, you had the opportunity to buy your reticle, your nameplate. You had the ability to buy additional loadouts, which at the core fundamental do not disrupt the game, do not disrupt the gear game and the weapon game.
Yeah.
However, fast forward to Advanced Warfare.
Also, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about.
Finish.
Let me run forward. Fast forward to today, and you can buy kill streak. Basically, like there's a card system in Advanced Warfare where that effectively are chances at certain drops and certain weapons. Some of them being exclusive just because you bought these cards through microtransactions. To me, that affects the core game. That's a problem. And that's something I don't want to see happen to Destiny. And that's, I guess, the larger point I'm trying to make is that this microtransaction business has us all trained to be very upset. And I think, history has proven we should be slightly concerned. But I do think that if it's starting this way and stays this way, I'm fine with this. It's just the minute it encroaches, okay, you can spend real money to get exotic engrams.
Well, we all know
there's a problem. Even if I can't control what pops, that's where I start getting upset.
I'm not worried about it ruining the game or them selling exotics or however they end up wanting to do it. That's not what I'm worried about. The fact that it exists is what bothers me. I come from an old school gamer perspective where I would buy a game and I would get everything that came with the game. I would play in an MMO and I would get to play that MMO and earn what I unlocked, not buy it. And the fact that a real-world economy impacts the product that I'm playing, that's what bothers me. And it's not the only company that's doing it. Ubisoft is ripping story missions out of their games and then charging you money for them. For all I know, Bungie had these done and in the game, and they took them out because it was another revenue stream for them.
So I mean, whatever.
Batman ripped out a ton of story stuff and charged you up front to get them, like the Batgirl stuff and everything. And I hate that this is so commonplace and everybody's just so accepting of it. It's like, oh, this is so cool. But no, it's not. You're ripping stuff out of your game to charge me more money for it.
But your other examples, those are much bigger. Like if they made some dancing options, which are super simple probably to make, that's not a big deal. Missions and stuff, you're right, but we're not there yet.
But look, I will say, maybe this is naive, but I will say that I have a lot of faith in Bungie as a developer and as someone who knows that the name on the box, being the developer, means something. The community means something to them. And where if Call of Duty and the developers who have been pulled into that Activision-owned IP acquiesced and said, absolutely, we'll do this microtransaction thing, I want to believe at the fundamental, Bungie would stand up and say, this is going to be a problem. Because at the end of the day, it's their reputation in their game, regardless of who the publisher is. And so I just want to say that I have faith in them to do this right. I could be completely wrong in 6 months, and I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people on Twitter or on the internet ready to tell me that. But knowing the developer the way I've seen them, even when Halo had a version of microtransactions, being that you can buy, for example, additional storage space for save films or other small things like that, it never really felt like you were being nickel and dime because it was optional services. And Bungie just doesn't have that history behind them. So I want to believe that a developer that seems to care that much about the community and is willing to listen to them would stand up and say,
you're right. Bungie does care, and I trust them. Remember Infinity Ward when half their staff got laid off because they had a disagreement with with Activision? That's what scares me.
Yeah, but Activision.
They literally formed Respawn and they work for EA now.
Yeah, but
is that going to happen again? Like how much pressure will be put on Bungie to do something that they don't like by Activision? I mean, maybe Activision is aware of that era and how big of a snafu that was, and it won't happen again. But it worries me.
I think it's valid cause for concern, but I'm putting my faith in the developers.
Yeah, I mean, there's no current. I understand the conversation, but I actually personally.
There's already a ton of turmoil at Bungie with all the veteran employees leaving.
I get that, but this is what bothers me about actually the internet and some of the community out there. We now have spent 8 minutes talking about the what if, what could be. There's nothing more than dance emotes being offered. And we want to spend all this time to say, well, what could be, and oh my God, the storm is coming. Well, and I get it, it's drama and we all love it, but it actually bothers me a little bit because give someone a chance first. You're right. It's out there and we can talk about it in the same way. You got great examples.
Yeah.
But basically, Destin, if you just listen to what you said, at one moment you said, I don't trust Bungie. And what you meant by that was to be able to handle the pressure and handle where this is going. But then you said you do trust them at the heart. And so, anyway, the point is we're like,
the
all over the place
people who have a problem with it will literally leave the company.
Could, if we get there. And you're right, it's a risk. This is a 10-year game. It's going to evolve past dancing.
Let's not hinge this all on bad precedents, right? Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's
let's wait until the dancing is a problem.
I don't have a problem with the dance emotes.
You're going to ruin it for me.
I don't have a problem with the dance emotes. I have a problem with the fact that they ripped it out of their game to charge me more money for it. Like, how are people happy about this?
That's fine. Simmer down. How about this? Great point.
Oh, I'm so happy you remove content to charge me more money for it. That bothers me, and it doesn't bother people, and I don't get it.
Let's end this, because we're over time,
yeah,
by saying, is there a way that Eververse could be cool, actually? And is there a way to turn this into a positive? I thought one cool thing was, what if they put up like some potential things that was almost like a Kickstarter function? This probably won't happen. I've never seen it. But like, wouldn't it be cool if you could buy into a certain like design and have them make it based on the crowdsourcing fund? You know, maybe there's some cool stuff like out there to build stuff in the game.
Like have the community make it. They kind of do that with CounterStrike.
Yeah, but within that, like a dancing move or whatever. But meaning you sort of pre-order something that you vote on to get made. That could be kind of fun, actually.
You know, you're going to get the humping emote in there pretty quick.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
CounterStrike does that. CounterStrike is a really good example of really good community-driven content. And the community gets like 90% and like Valve gets 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, and it was just more about, in a clever way, like you'd still be buying something, but it would be like a pre-order, and meaning maybe if it didn't get all the votes, you get your dollars back, right, to your silver back or whatever. There could be some fun stuff maybe, but you're right, it's got to be harmless. It can't affect the game, can't affect the action of the game, but it can affect the dancing action.
I'm not worried about all those things you said.
Yeah.
I hope I made it clear why I don't like microtransactions. It's because a thing's made for a game, it's taken out because somebody sees another revenue stream, and I hate that.
But like, let me give you an example. I want them to build like a dancing emote. Like I've always talked about exotic shaders and exotic emotes and stuff. Like, wouldn't it be cool if, like, for at the end of the raid, you all had like something that like lit you up on fire, like
that'd be
like
great.
Cool stuff like that that's not being built. So
that'd be great. Why can't I earn that in the game, or why can't I just buy year 2 and have that?
Maybe this is the silver lining.
Maybe that's the silver lining to the whole situation.
Silver
give people
lining. You see?
Don't do that.
I do it all the time.
Maybe there's a way. Like I like what I think I heard Street Fighter V is doing something interesting with microtransactions, where actually everything that you can acquire via microtransactions, you're able to unlock via the game.
That's
happened
cool.
in a number of games too, where it's like either or.
Yeah.
Spend the time, spend
and it's
the money.
like cosmetic.
Yeah.
Forza was like that.
It'll be interesting though to see how this impacts the whole thing. I mean, I think it's dangerous. I do want to end on one point where I do think it's dangerous for us to sit around. We don't know, what it costs to run a game like Bungie, and we don't know what it costs to make a game
Destiny.
like Destiny. We don't know those specifics, and so without that knowledge, I don't know if this microtransaction is because they do need more money to make certain things happen, or because hey, this is cool right now and we can make more on it. Like,
and that's my point
the narrative
too.
is
like,
unclear.
Don't assume that they can build this additional raid or fix hard mode or make a hard mode for a very hard mode for Vault of Glass. Meaning this could end up funding good stuff.
Yeah, but I do know when Eververse Trading Company opens, I'm going to take a look at the wares, and if I see a dance that I think is worth the amount of money that I feel justified in spending that amount, I'm going to buy it, and I'm not going to feel bad about that because that's something that at the end of the day,
you and a lot of people, and that's why it's never going to go away.
Well, we'll all
Companies
dance
are
in
gonna keep
shame
doing
with
this.
our exclusive dances, and they'll be like, look at them dancing with their silver
Oh, man, there's going to be so
emotes.
much judgment at the tower
There
now
will
when
be.
you dance and you're not. So much
I'm
silent
gonna get a whole
judgment.
group of people together that have bought dances and dance around Destin.
It'll be like Game of Thrones with the lady with the bell. Shame. Shame. Just point. The point means shame because it goes in the same slot. This is it. This is how you do it.
That is hilarious that you bring that up because my raid team, which Charles on yet is, I don't remember Charles. This is the end and we should wrap up. I have there'll be certain things at the raid where I started doing that. Like it'd be a silent moment after something went bad and I'd be like, shame. And then I start sending them the GIF in the thread that we talk on. So anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Fran, are there any promotions for stuff? There's a ton going on at IGN right now. So Fran wanted to talk about a few of the items.
Good reminder about the the pages. We have the new show page. IGN.com/watch/Fireteam-chat. So watch Fireteam chat. Easy way to remember it. You can find it in also the navigation bar on top of IGN. But I really wanted to actually bring up. We always talk about iTunes reviews or reviews on your podcast stuff. I pulled up up a couple from late September. Thank you guys so much for reviewing. If
Yeah.
you don't like the show as well, leave the review. We're not for everybody. We do read that stuff. I don't want you to think I just picked the stuff that was like good. We have like a 4.5-star rating. So
Be
you guys are freaking awesome.
Be constructive with your reviews.
Be
We
objective
actually
and
read them,
constructive,
so
yeah.
thank
But
you.
anyway, thank you guys. But 2 quick ones to read. The first one was by Acting Shady, and he says, for starters, I'm one who never leaves reviews. This is my first and only review, but this podcast is awesome. I strongly encourage anyone who plays Destiny that you should listen to these guys on your free time, is what he's saying. Wish the show was an hour, but maybe in the future.
I think you got it today.
Yes. Also, thanks to Fireteam Chat. Now I listen to Podcast Unlocked.
Oh, cool.
That's great. Keep up the great work.
Getting more Destiny.
Keep up the great work. And he says, Guardians out. And then also by I Heart Love, awesome podcast. Absolutely love listening to it and the information that they give. Destiny is an amazing game, and it's so wonderful to listen to a podcast with people that enjoy the game as much as I do.
Cool.
Guardians out.
Nice.
So you guys are doing an awesome job with that tagline.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
There's
so
never
thank
been
you
a better,
guys.
I think you came up with it.
I know I did. I mentioned it on one show.
The Temptations. Whole,
Yeah.
like,
If you'd like to buy a new outro for the show,
Oh my God.
we're going to have a... Okay, let's wrap things up.
that's amazing.
I quit. No, I'm
I
just
would pay
kidding.
for that.
So we're also doing a top 100 games of all time. I did like 2 of the 100 write-ups, so we're going to promote that. That's coming out Monday. So if you want to check that out, check out IGN.com.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a big moment. We don't
Yeah.
do that very often, is update that top 100. It's a lot of ranking.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, until next time, Guardians out.
Right, Jose? Right? Shame.
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 Shame. Shame.
Shame.